Morning all, it's Jules here from Joolsedesigns and JT Creations. So just what I'm doing is I'm making the cover for my autumn journal. So this is an old placemat that I've dyed with butterscotch. It's quite messy, that one. So if you ever get the Tim Holtz Adirondack colour washes, wear gloves. And I also put in, I did this yesterday, I also squirted some aged mahogany, and that's just where it's deep. I did put some distress oxides on it, forest moss, but it's not really taken. It's kind of the other colours have taken over. The pool of it left on my tray, so what I did was I just managed to get it and pour it in there. So that'll, what I might do is water that down and use it on other bits and pieces. So what I want to do now is I want to stitch this. So what I've done is I've got a bubble wrap envelope and it measures 12, 13, 14 and a half by 9.1/16. It's bigger than my journal, but that's fine. I've covered it with this bit's linen. The bit underneath is just an old pillow slip. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stitch round this. I'm not sure how my machine will stitch this, because it's just a cheapy machine. As you can see, it's a lightweight one. So I might need to hand sew it, but if I have to hand sew it, I will stitch it on with that. So I'm not sure whether to stitch that on while I'm stitching it. In fact, I think I will. I'm just putting these in just to, I did have a few more of these, but I don't know what I've done with them, so we'll have to do with clips. And I'll be back when I've stitched it. See you in a moment. I am back. I've not stitched anything, so I've just gone and threaded up my machine, and as you can see from the needle, it's all glued up. Now, one of the things that we do say is make sure your glue's dry. However, some of us are a little bit we're not that patient. I'm one of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a wet wipe. I could put another needle in, but there's nothing wrong with the needle. I'm just going to wipe it with a wet wipe, but that doesn't get all the glue off. So I've got some surgical spirits, alcohol, and that will take the sticky from the needle. Yeah, it's coming off. But what you have to remember is this could clog up the hole. Hi, that's me back. It's been a good while. I had problems with this. My little sewing machine wouldn't stitch into the bubble wrap envelope. So what I had to do was stitched it round, put the bubble wrap envelope in, then stitched it closed, I then swithered whether to stitch this on by hand, and then I thought no, so I just tacked it on, and again I stitched it round. So these are the marks where I'm going to, because I am actually going to sew my my signatures in, and I have marked them. And what I want is, they are quite chunky. There is a space there because I've got a file folder that I want to put on, and there's still plenty of room there. It is going to be quite a chunky monkey, and I have some bits and pieces that I want to put on. You can't really see that leaf, so we'll put the red one underneath it and the green one underneath it. We've got some berries, they're always showing in the autumn. I die cut the word journal, and I have got some other little, they're just little die cuts that I might stick in. I'm not quite sure. I might just sort of like put them through these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in. Don't usually do it on video, but what I'll do is I'll do one on video. I'll do the one that I've prepared, and then I'll do the other one off video. So I need my awl, which is here. Now, what I'm doing is I'm just poking a hole in there, and there, and there. It's just 3 holes. Yes, we can see it, but it's gone. Right. That one's right through. And that one's right through. So that through in the it's wax thread I'm using. I usually use 3 times the length of the book. So I'll go into the middle. Now we need to make sure that this is the right way. Right, we're into the middle. That would have been sorry, wouldn't it? See, we're not going to see that. It's going to be a guessing game, I think. Into the middle of the, and watch your fingers. Okay, pull that, but always leave a, you know, a little bit there. And then through that hole that we've made, and it should come up through there. That's it. Perfect. Pull it tightish. Go straight over to this one and put it through, and put it through your mark in your Now what I need to do now is I need to come back through the middle. So that's this one. But what I'm not wanting to do is I'm not wanting to upset my thread, you know, sort of like go through the fibres of my thread. So through here and back through here. Now when you get to this point, you have like a thread going from there to there. So you need one thread coming at one side and one thread the other side. That's it. And then what we do is we pull it, we check that it's tight enough. Now normally I would put beads on that, but there is still things I can do to decorate that up. And then what I do is I tie it in a knot. And then a bow. If you want, you can cut those off. That's entirely up to you. So that's one signature in. So as you can see, it's quite a opens. I will do a final flip through. So now the other signature I'm putting in this side. And so what you do is you get the middle, you make sure your pages are perfect, you clamp it with whatever you've got. You can use clothes pegs, paper clips if your signature's not too thick. Some people have big industrial clamps, which is fine, but make sure that it's all pressed in. Right, so that's that. And where's my, oh no, this is a guesstimation, which is a good guesstimation, and I'm going to put it right through there. That's it. And I reckon that is, what I'm doing is that I'm lining the all up here and then looking, and I think it's just move it down a little bit. Perfect. Good guesstimation again. And be very careful when you're poking these through that you don't go through your good dining room table or anything. Somebody's making me a binder for doing this, so like to rest it in, so and just okay. And what I want now is some thread again. So again, 1, 2, 3, and this it is bookbinding thread. I bought it in a pack from Amazon, and you get so many threads. You get your needles, you get a little pair of scissors, you get one of these. So it's everything you need. If you don't have that, what you can do is, if you've got some beeswax, you can, you know, use a sort of like a, if you're using cotton, or you use a couple of threads. A lot of people use embroidery threads, and if you want to wax them, you can just run them through the beeswax. Sometimes I've even used them through, you know, like one of these. Just take the wax out of there and just run it through. It's still wax. It probably won't be as good as beeswax, but it's good for your threads going through all the different mediums that they have to go through, and it does strengthen your thread. Now, that was the hole. I didn't think I would be able to see the hole, but I can see. There we are. And put it through the hole we made in there. And again, pull that through. Put it all the way to that end and through the hole that you made there. And then back through this one. And I'm just making sure I'm going through it. Oh no, that's through the thread. The last thing I want to do is go through the thread. What happens is if you stitch through the thread, it's just harder to tighten the threads up, so try and avoid that, because what you have to end up doing is pulling it all out again. So again, I'm making sure that I've got one thread that side of that, one thread that, just making sure that's tight. It's on there, and there we have it, and that's called a 3-hole thread, 3-hole punch. Okay, so I hope you get something out of that. I hope it's helped you. There are several ways of binding. You can get them on YouTube. You know, there is lots of crafters out there. But as I say, the reason for the big space there is because I've got a file folder, but I'm still swithering whether to just put a notebook in there. You know, just sort of like get my crocodile and put 2 holes, and then put some elastic and put a notebook in there. But I'm really pleased with that. I was pleased with the way these turned out, because I bought them in Spain, and once they got any stains on them and they're washed, they all started dropping to bits, so obviously you can't wash them. So I thought, right, they'll go on my journals. But that's it so far. So the next time you see this will be in the final flip through, which will be the next video. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.